Hello and welcome to Lord of the Board. My name is Sam, and today we are going to be looking at the 10 games that I was able to get at GenCon. Now, I do have a link included in the description of this video where I basically went over what games I was looking forward to checking out at GenCon, seeing if I really wanted to buy them. And I can confirm that I was able to pretty much check out all of those games, but along the way I was able to find a couple of new surprises, which you'll see in this list of games that I was able to acquire, as well as some games that obviously they were on the list, I checked them out and I got them. But first off, let's go ahead and start off where I went to Hachette Games and was able to pick up two of their games, the first one being Northgard. Now, here's the thing about Northgard and my relationship with this game. I actually played the video game of Northgard for quite a long time. This is essentially, the video game at least, is an RTS game where you are going around collecting resources, kind of like a Civilization type game, except it was real time, and that was a really cool blend of mechanics for me. And this game, from the read down of the rule book, as well as just from the back of the box and checking out all the demos that were being played of it, I was able to see that this is a deck building 4X game where it is all about territory, and you have to have a certain number of territories with certain number of large buildings in order to win the game. And I think that's a really cool concept for one, very much area control. However, it being a 4X game, we're going to see exactly how good this game is. I was excited to pick it up. I was excited to check it out. But yeah, that is Northgard Uncharted Lands. One thing that I'm already kind of like about that I want to check out is the asymmetric clans. They're really, really asymmetric in the video game, but just from a read through of the rules, it seems like it's just like an extra ability or like something that makes you just a teeny bit different, which is okay. But that's just something I'm usually excited about to see, is those really asymmetric things about the game, or like the factions that make them different. And this one, I don't know, we'll see, but I am happy that I was able to secure a copy of this. But let's check out the next game that I was able to secure at Hachette Games. All right, it was, this one's heavier actually than Northgard, surprisingly, even though it is a smaller box. This is called Ultra, and this was a game that I have always been looking at. And I think I've just kind of been looking at it from a distance online, just kind of thinking, wow, this art is amazing. The art is by Vincent Dutrait, so you might know him from other board games that he was able to do. Off the top of my head, I can't think of one, but you've seen this art style before, I'm sure. This game is a really cool medieval themed co-op game, which is silly because, if you've been watching this channel, you know that I'm not a huge fan of co-op games. However, I still felt like I had to get this game just due to the theme alone. And the meeples are so freaking cool. Plus, me and my wife do need another co-op game that we actually enjoy. There is not a lot of co-op games that I enjoy in general, just because I don't like the whole concept of like one player taking over and being like, you do this and you do this. There's usually a way to solve a game, and I really dislike that. From what I saw from this game, it looks like that would be pretty difficult just due to the randomness of what you might encounter throughout the game's problems, and I really liked that concept. The other aspect of it is we do need to find a new co-op game that me and my wife love. We've played Horrified so many times now, and I will still play Horrified. I love Horrified so much. It's one of my faves. Me and my wife just kind of got a groove, and everybody who I introduce it to really likes that game as well. And so that is Ultra. You're going to be putting fires out in a kingdom while still building up your castle and helping all of you as knights basically to save the kingdom. And it even came with like a little promo box. Came with I guess a little promo quest of cards that I could add to the game. So those were the two purchases that I got from Hachette Games. Now, what game did I get next? All right, so we've got Dune, Arrakis, Dawn of the Fremen. This was at Gale Force 9. Now, here's the thing, first off about this, is that I didn't even know this game existed until I think I saw it on Twitter. Somebody posted something about that this was one of the games that they were looking forward to. And I am a huge sucker for the Dune theme. Like if it's Dune theme, I'm already interested. But I was actually having a conversation with Cole Worley, which, by the way, I met Cole Worley, and that was a huge, huge highlight of the con. Favorite designer of all time. It was amazing. But he would say that this was actually based off of an old game called Borderlands, and I had never heard of that, but he loved that game. So this was a game that he was actually interested in as well. So that was just an immediate cop for me. Like I was like, I'm going to go buy this, basically on Cole's recommendation, essentially, as well as very, very intrigued by everything going on. It looks very interesting. And so this is one that I'm excited to do. It looks like it's not really, there is war in it, but it looks like it's also a very much economic game where you're going to be transporting resources where you need them. You're going to be watching out for storms and resource droughts kind of deal. So it seems like it's going to be interesting. I like the concept that this is a Dune game set only about the Fremen and those tribes basically protecting and controlling their sieges, which I think is way, way cool. It's kind of a different take on kind of the Dune game. Usually you're doing, Fremen versus Atreides versus Harkonnens, but here we're just playing each a different Fremen tribe. And so very excited to play Dune Arrakis Dawn of the Fremen. This is a third game that I was able to purchase at GenCon. And the next game is going to be Fjords. Now, this is a game, okay, so this is interesting. This is a game that, for one, I am so happy to have. And the coolest part is that this is the Kickstarter version, so I got these really cool runes inside of it that I'm just excited to see how they work. But this was a game that I literally just mentioned. I'm so happy about my con experience. It was so much fun. But I was working with Ravensburger while I was there, and this was a game that I mentioned at breakfast that I was interested in. And then I ended up going to the back of the booth, and it was there. And one of the employees at Ravensburger actually bought it for me, which was just so sweet and so nice. And so this game already has like a very special place in my heart. And it's so funny because whenever I was talking to people at the con about like what games I got, I was so excited to try this game. I've just been so interested in it. I love the theme of Viking, and it looks like a Euro game, which I'm excited about because I don't really have very many Euro games, or at least I do. I love Euro games, but I haven't really bought a new one in a while, and I'm just excited to kind of dive into something new. But whenever I mentioned that I got Fjords, all of these content creators and people that I was talking to were like, that doesn't really seem like a game that you would enjoy. And I think that's so funny. It's like, I think I've built myself up to be just like strictly into war games and asymmetric games, but I'm kind of an omni gamer at the end of the day. Like, I really do just love games that I can dive into strategically, games that, if they have a good theme, they have good gameplay mechanics. Wow, that was rough. If they have a good theme and good gameplay mechanics, I will enjoy the game, hopefully. And like, that could be a Euro game, that could be a war game, that could be a game with a lot of luck, that could be a game with no luck. I mean, I just kind of find games that I love, and I hope that I can really, really fall in love with those games. So Fjords, I am so excited to play, and thank you so much for buying it for me. If you're watching this, you will be remembered. I appreciate you. All right, what else? What else do we got? So the next one I am so excited about. Man, I am just very happy I was able to get this. That's really all I can say about it. All right, moving on. Now, I'm sure everyone's wondering, did I get the game that I knew I was going to get because I pre-ordered it before I even went to GenCon doing all of that research? And the answer is, I did. It was one that I have just been so excited about. I've done so much research on, and I am literally so freaking excited to get this to the table. I have read the rulebook twice now. I've watched the video on the how to play twice now, and I still have not played it, but I know that I'm going to be playing it soon, and I am just so excited. If you know me, you know that I love history. You know that I love, like interesting points in history too. Like, we don't get very many games that are about Brazil. We don't get very many games that are designed by somebody from Brazil, about Brazil, with artists who are Brazilian. This is so exciting to me. And on top of that, it reminds me of Age of Empires 3, one of my favorite games of all time. On top of that, it is a 4X game. On top of that, it has amazing meeples, most adorable meeples. The table presence on this is incredible. You've got these beautiful hexes with all of these different meeple cuts depending on what civilization you're playing. And I am just so stoked to try this game out. So I was able to get Brazil Imperial, and you know what? Be looking out. If you're looking for content for this game, be looking out on this channel, because there will definitely be some sort of a video on this game. And I do know that I'm going to be playing it soon here. So stay tuned. I got it. I'm stoked for it. Let's move on. Another game that I was able to pick up, however, I do not have the copy with me. I'm going to have to pick it up in a little bit, is Familiar Tales, which was a game that was on my list of anticipated, and I was able to play a little demo of it. I was able to check it out, and I definitely know that this game is going to be something that me and my wife will enjoy so much, as well as me and a couple of other friends that I can think of just right now that I know would enjoy the game. I don't have the copy because, honestly, I tried to fit as much as I could inside of here, and I think I could have fit this one too. I think I could have fit it in my suitcase, but it just made it easier to have it sent back with Ravensburger, so they're helping me out. They're going to be sending the copy over to the headquarters, and I'll just go pick it up when I get it. So, Familiar Tales, I actually got a copy. I'm very excited about that game, and I wish I could show just like the cover at least to you, but check it out, and check out my other video if you want to hear a little bit more information about that game, because I did talk about it a lot in what games I was most anticipating for GenCon. All right, so the last game that I got, the last game that I was able to get, one that I did not expect to be able to get at the con, that is going to be Ahoy. Now, here's the thing. You know me. You know that I love leader games. You know that I love asymmetry, right? You know that I love pirates. Well, maybe you don't know that, but now you do. You know that I love animals. That's true because, Root, Everdell, all those. This game had so much going for it. And I've already played it. I actually play tested it too, so I've played it quite a few times. But to see the finished product, I was actually able to play this with Tim. It was awesome, and we were able to play a game of it, and oh my goodness, it's great. The finished product is wonderful. The 2-player experience surprisingly works so well. I need to play with a full 4-player. If you do not know what Ahoy is, this is essentially an asymmetric game that is a little bit lighter. It's a little bit easier to learn. However, you're going to have kind of the 2 area control factions, which are going to be the Bluefin Squadron and the Mollusk Union, that are going to be basically fighting over the Great Seas, attempting to score points at the end of each round. And then you've got these 2 other pirates, which are called smugglers. These 2 other players are essentially kind of like vagabonds, where they're going to be playing a pick up and deliver game. And as they're picking up and delivering, where they deliver to is actually going to increase the wealth of that region of the sea. And now when one of the area control factions controls that region of the sea, they're going to be getting more points because the wealth has increased. And so it's an interesting game of the smugglers are trying to deliver in areas that are not going to benefit the other 2 factions too much, and the other 2 factions are going to try and make sure that they're not able to deliver to certain islands to benefit their opponents. And it's a really, really beautiful, beautiful game. This one is so fun, and I was so thankful to Leader Games for giving me a copy while I was there. I just felt so special. And by the way, I was able to meet the entire Leader Games team. I will show a picture of it because it was a blast. I was able to meet Cole and Patrick, and they basically welcomed me like family, wanted to take a picture with me and everything, and talking with them and chatting with them and even being able to meet the rest of the team. It was something so special to me, and to be able to leave with a copy of Ahoy was something also so special to me. This is a game that you will 100,000% see content for on this channel. You know, this is kind of one of those things where it's like this game could warrant a strategy guide, you know? So you might see some strategy guides. I don't know. I guess a good way to end this video of me showing kind of all of the games that I've kind of was able to get. And by the way, just to kind of end it on this note, I actually only bought 5 games while at GenCon, and I'm really proud of myself for only getting 5 games. There were so many games I was looking at, and it was really hard for me to resist like picking up a copy or grabbing. It's kind of that whole environment of being at GenCon where everybody's just showing off these giant hauls of games that they were able to achieve. And I just want to come to you humbly and just say I am so thankful to all of the publishers and content creators and friends that I was able to see at GenCon, and everybody that was just so nice. A lot of people were able to give me games just as a gift, and that made me feel very special, and I was so thankful to be able to really meet so many amazing people out there. So my Gen Con experience was great overall. I had a blast. What kind of content do you want to see with all of these games that you've seen? What game are you most excited for to see content on? And with that game, what would you like to see? What kind of content? Strategy guides, reviews? Do you guys want to see breakdowns of components? What do you guys want to see? I am willing to put the ball in your guys' court on what you want and see if I can go ahead and make it. But that is going to be it for the games that I was able to get at Gen Con 2022. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let's go ahead and drop the beat.